Pretty girls don't need to run companies. They just need to marry men who do. My mother spoke these words while handing over my dead father's logistics business to Tyler, her new husband's son, who couldn't tell a shipping manifest from a grocery list. The question that haunted me for 8 years wasn't why she betrayed me. It was whether she'd still believe pretty girls don't need companies when she discovered I owned 3. My name is Isabella Torres, and the day my mother stole my inheritance was the day I learned that family isn't about blood. It's about who sees your worth beyond your face. The reading of my father's should have been straightforward. He'd built Torres Shipping from nothing, starting with 1 truck and ending with a fleet of 50. He'd promised me since I was 12 that someday I'd run it alongside him. Every summer, I worked in the warehouse. Every school break, I learned routes, customer relations, logistics software. I had a business degree and 5 years of hands-on experience. None of that mattered to my mother, Carmen, who'd remarried 6 months after Dad's funeral. Isabella gets the house in Riverside, the lawyer read. The business and all associated assets transfer to Carmen Torres, to be held in trust for Isabella when she reaches the age of 25. I was 23. 2 years to wait. I could handle that. But that evening, my mother called a family meeting. She sat next to Richard, her new husband, while Tyler sprawled on Dad's leather chair, the one no one else had ever been allowed to use. "We need to discuss the business," Mom began, not meeting my eyes. "Tyler's been thinking about his future." Tyler, 26 years old, who dropped out of community college twice and whose longest job had lasted 3 weeks at a vape shop. "What about it?" I asked. "He needs stability. A chance to prove himself." Mom twisted her wedding ring. Not the one Dad gave her, but the gaudy diamond Richard had produced. "I'm transferring the business to him." The words didn't compute. "You can't. It's in trust for me." "Actually," Richard interjected, "Carmen has full discretion as trustee. She can distribute assets as she sees fit for the beneficiary's best interests." "How is giving away my inheritance in my best interest?" Mom finally looked at me, and her expression made my stomach drop. "Bella, honey, let's be realistic. You're beautiful. You don't need to waste your youth in warehouses and offices. Tyler needs this opportunity. You can find a nice husband who'll take care of you." "I don't want a husband to take care of me. I want my father's company." "It's not suitable for a young woman," Richard said. "All those truckers, the late hours, the rough environment. Tyler's better equipped for that world." Tyler, who was currently vaping and scrolling through TikTok, definitely seemed equipped for the demanding world of logistics management. "Dad trained me for this," I said, voice shaking. "I know every route, every client, every—" "Sweetheart," Mom interrupted. "You're 23 and gorgeous. Why would you want to waste that sitting in an office? Look at me. I found Richard, and I haven't had to work a day since your father died." The truth of it hit me like a physical blow. My mother saw me as nothing more than a pretty face to be married off. All those years of training, studying, proving myself. Meaningless because I had the audacity to be female and conventionally attractive. "You're really doing this," I said flatly. "You're stealing Dad's company to give to him." I gestured at Tyler, who'd moved on to watching YouTube videos without headphones. "It's not stealing," Mom snapped. "It's practical. Tyler will run the business, and when you get married, you'll thank me for not burdening you with all that stress." I stood to leave. Richard blocked my path. "The house in Riverside is yours," he said, as if offering a consolation prize. "That's generous for a girl your age." "I don't want the house. I want what my father left me." "Well," Mom said, standing too, "we all want things. I wanted your father to live. But we adapt. You'll adapt too. Maybe that nice doctor from church." I walked out before she could finish. Behind me, I heard Tyler ask, "So when do I get the company cars?" The transfer happened within a week. Mom signed over Torres Shipping to Tyler Richardson, effective immediately. I consulted 3 lawyers. All said the same thing. As trustee, she had broad discretion. Proving breach of fiduciary duty would be expensive and likely futile. I sat in my father's house, my house now, surrounded by his business awards, photos of the company's growth, his first truck's keys framed on the wall. Everything he'd built, gone to a stranger who thought logistics meant ordering an Uber. The first months were the hardest. I'd get calls from Dad's old clients, confused about Tyler's erratic decisions. Drivers quit when paychecks came late. Routes were mismanaged. Shipments went missing. Each failure was a knife in my chest, watching my father's legacy crumble. Mom, meanwhile, planned her campaign to marry me off. She'd invite me to dinners with mysterious guests, who always happened to be single men with good jobs. She'd send links to dating sites with profiles she'd created for me. Once, she actually brought a real estate developer to my house unannounced, claiming they were just in the neighborhood. Mom, stop, I told her after the fifth ambush. I'm not interested in getting married right now. Don't be stubborn, Isabella. You're not getting younger. And without the business tying you down, you can focus on what really matters, finding a good husband. I'm 23. Exactly. Prime time. I was 19 when I married your father. And you loved him, I shot back. You didn't marry him for his money. Her face hardened. Love doesn't pay bills, Mija. Your father's death taught me that. Security matters more than fairy tales. I wanted to scream that Dad had left us secure, that she'd traded that security for a new husband and a stepson who was bleeding the company dry. But I knew it would fall on deaf ears. So I made a decision. If she thought pretty girls could only succeed by marrying well, I'd prove her wrong. I'd build something from nothing, just like Dad had. I sold the house in Riverside. It killed me to let go of those memories, but I needed capital. With the proceeds, I bought 2 used cargo vans and started Luna Logistics. Not creative naming, but I was too angry for creativity. My first clients were small businesses Dad's company had dropped when Tyler took over. Florists, bakeries, local craftsmen who needed reliable delivery but couldn't afford the big firms. I ran routes myself, loading vans at 4 a.m., making deliveries until evening, then handling paperwork until midnight. You're doing what? Mom shrieked when she found out. Driving trucks? Like like someone who works for a living? This is exactly why I gave the business to Tyler. You're too proud to accept reality. No man wants to marry a woman who drives delivery trucks. Good. Then I won't waste time on men who judge me for working. She hung up on me. We didn't speak for 6 months. During that time, Luna Logistics grew. I hired my first driver, Marcus, who'd quit Torres Shipping when Tyler bounced his paycheck. Then Angela, who'd been Dad's dispatcher for 15 years. One by one, Dad's best people found their way to me, bringing clients with them. Your father would be proud, Angela told me one evening as we mapped out new routes. You've got his instincts. I hired smart, invested profits back into the business, and slowly built something mine. Not inherited, not given, earned. When larger clients started calling, I was ready. 3 years in, I heard Torres Shipping had lost its biggest contract, a medical supply company that needed reliability Tyler couldn't provide. They put out a request for bids. I submitted mine under a corporate name, not Luna Logistics. We won the contract. Isabella Torres? The medical supply CEO recognized me during our first meeting. Hector's daughter? I thought you were running Torres Shipping. Change in leadership, I said smoothly. I started my own company. He nodded slowly. Well, based on your proposal, I'd say the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Your father always delivered on his promises. So do I. By year 5, Luna Logistics had 40 trucks and 2 warehouses. I'd absorbed most of Torres Shipping's former clients. Industry newsletters featured articles about our growth. I'd also started a training program for women in logistics, remembering every time someone told me it wasn't suitable for my gender. Tyler, meanwhile, had driven Torres Shipping into the ground. The company that had supported 30 families now existed only on paper. He'd sold off the trucks, let licenses lapse, and burned through whatever cash reserves existed. Last I heard, he was working at his father's car dealership, washing cars. I thought I'd feel vindicated. Instead, I felt sad. Dad's company name was gone, even if his spirit lived on in what I'd built. Year 6 brought an unexpected call. Mom, for the first time in 2 years. Mija, she said, voice strange. I need to talk to you. About what? Richard left me. I said nothing. He said I wasn't bringing anything to the marriage anymore. The money from your father's business is gone. The house is mortgaged. He found someone younger. The irony was so thick I could choke on it. I'm sorry to hear that, I said, meaning it. Despite everything, she was my mother. Isabella, I made mistakes. With the business. With you. I waited. I thought I was protecting you. I thought if you just found the right man, you'd be secure. Happy. I didn't want you to struggle like I did after your father died. So you gave away my security to someone else? I thought Tyler would run it well. Richard said his son just needed a chance. And I thought you'd be fine. You're beautiful, smart. Any man would be lucky. Mom, I own 3 companies now. Silence. What? Luna Logistics. Luna Freight. Luna Express. 60 trucks for warehouses, 85 employees. We did $12 million in revenue last year. The silence stretched so long I thought she'd hung up. How? She finally whispered. By being more than just a pretty face. By working 18-hour days. By proving everyone wrong who said I needed a man to take care of me. I don't understand. Where did you get the money? I sold the house Dad left me. Started with 2 vans and determination. She started crying. I ruined everything. Gave away your inheritance to that useless boy. And for what? Richard left anyway. Part of me wanted to comfort her. The other part remembered her words. Pretty girls don't need companies. What do you want, Mom? Could we meet? For coffee? I want to understand. I want to know my daughter again. I thought about it. About the years of anger, the missed holidays, the wall between us built of her choices, and my resentment. I don't think so, I said finally. Not yet. Maybe someday, but not now. Isabella, please. I have nothing. No one. You need to understand that you can't undo 8 years with coffee. You chose Tyler over me. You chose Richard over Dad's legacy. You chose your idea of what I should be over who I actually am. I'm your mother. Yes. And you told me pretty girls don't need companies. You were wrong about that. You were wrong about a lot of things. I hung up and blocked her number. It wasn't cruel. It was necessary. I'd built my life without her. I'd succeeded despite her. I wasn't ready to let her back in just because her own choices had led to consequences. 2 months later, she sent a letter to my office. Handwritten, 10 pages of apologies, explanations, regrets. She'd seen articles about Luna Logistics. She'd talked to people who knew what I'd accomplished. She understood now what she'd stolen from me. I see your father in you, she wrote. The determination I fell in love with. The strength I tried to redirect into finding a husband. I was a fool. I kept the letter but didn't respond. Forgiveness would come eventually. I'm not someone who holds grudges forever. But trust? That was gone, sold along with my inheritance to a stepbrother who couldn't manage a lemonade stand. Last week, I got word that the Torres shipping trademark had lapsed. Tyler hadn't bothered renewing it. I bought it immediately. Not to use, but to preserve. Dad's company name sits in my files, protected, honored, even if the business itself is gone. My CFO asked why I bothered. Sentiment. Respect, I corrected. My father built something from nothing. The least I can do is keep his name from being forgotten completely. She nodded. What about your mother? I heard she's been asking around about you. Let her ask. She made her choice 8 years ago. She thought pretty girls should marry rich instead of building something themselves. I proved her wrong, but that doesn't mean I owe her access to what I built. That seems cold. I shrugged. Maybe. But every time I think about reconciling, I remember her handing over my father's life's work to Tyler while telling me to find a husband. I remember her seeing me as nothing more than a face to be marketed to the highest bidder. People change. They do. But consequences don't disappear because someone realizes they were wrong. Today, Luna Logistics is expanding to a 4th state. We're hiring 50 new drivers, opening 2 more warehouses. I'm 29, unmarried, and running exactly the kind of company my mother thought I couldn't handle. Sometimes I drive past the old Torres shipping warehouse. It's a CrossFit gym now, all traces of Dad's business erased. But his real legacy isn't in buildings or trucks. It's in the determination he passed to me, the work ethic he instilled, the belief that we create our own worth. Mom was right about one thing. I am pretty. But she was wrong about everything else. Pretty girls don't need companies? No. Pretty girls, plain girls, all girls need the chance to prove what they're capable of. They need opportunity, not husbands. They need trust, not assumptions. They need families who see their potential, not just their faces. I didn't get that from my mother, but I built it anyway. And that makes it worth more than any inheritance she could have given me or stolen.